What about my screen?
You can
What?
share your screen as normal.
I was sharing. I think it went off. Okay.
Yeah, you have to again do it, I think, because you might have gone back to Zoom link.
Okay. So, good evening, everyone. I'm Nisha, and I just want to share my learnings. Like, I've read these books some time back. So, I delayed sharing it because I want to share it here that Vasudev always wanted us to be prepared like properly. Like he wanted us to either make a mind map, and he was very persistent, insistent on that. So I couldn't make mind map, so I stopped sharing. Then after that, I told him that I can share with PPT. So he started becoming more particular about PPT. So I couldn't make that. So finally, I have come to this one page sharing now. So today I'm sharing this. So and talking about these books, have anybody read these books? Like Vasudev must have read. I know that, but anyone?
No,
Rich
not
Dad,
yet.
Poor Dad, and The Richest Man in Babylon.
I read the first one, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, but long back. So you'll be refreshing my memory about, you know.
Okay, okay. So this is like just a general comparative summary which I have made. Um I don't think I'll be going deep into the books. It is just like an overview of these books. So for me, like I'm a science student, then a literature student, and then I was never into this finance, accounts, or all this. So these books were my like first what to say, first learnings about finance. So uh, this is like I think these days if you all must be knowing that children have financial literacy as a subject in schools. So back then it was not there. Like for us, I think I don't think we had, but now such subjects are there, and I'm so happy about that because it is so important to have financial literacy. So coming back to the books, like Rich Dad Poor Dad, the author is Robert Kiyosaki, and The Richest Man in Babylon is George S. Clason. So these two books, uh, I also wanted to share about another book like Think and Grow Rich. Like I have just started this, like I said, comparative summaries. So last time I shared about gratitude, like 4 books which I have read on gratitude. So these 2 books are related to money. And the third book was Think and Grow Rich, but I couldn't finish it. So I couldn't add it here. This book was Rich Dad and Poor Dad is written in published in 1997, and the other book is 1926. So if we go by the chronology, Richest Man in Babylon is the oldest book. I mean, in these two. So what I liked about these books, the Richest Man in Babylon, it is like a story. It is a story of a man called Arkad, and how he learns to, I mean, about the finances, how to manage them, and like that. So that is about Richest Man in Babylon. And here, Rich Dad Poor Dad is the author himself. He uh, he uh, he talks about his own dad and also about his friend's dad. So here in this book, the poor dad is like his dad, and the rich dad is his friend's dad. It's like a personal memoir, we can say. Like the format what is given is here in Rich Dad and Poor Dad, it is like a memoir. And in Richest Man in Babylon, it is more like stories. It is like a fictitious thing. Then coming to the main concept, so as I said, both of them they are on the same lines, like financial literacy, and then how we can change our mindset. Then uh, let me tell you one point about this. Like Before this, before reading these books, I was not much into, like, I can say that I used to hate financial things like accounts, like that, like getting into those details like that. So when somebody says this is liability, this is asset, like that, so putting things like that in, like this is liability, this is asset, so it used to make me mad. Like, how can you call this as liability? Because for me, I'm an emotional person. So if I'm buying a house or something like that, I attach my emotions to it. It is like a sentimental thing, something like that. So everything cannot be like just liability and asset, according to me. So something has come. Okay, this a whiteboard or something. Okay. So this was like a this these two books were like eye openers for me. They guided me, like they gave me some basic knowledge about finance, like that. So I can very well say this financial literacy, like your mindset will shift after reading this book. Then about this Richest Man in Babylon, there is like timeless principles of wealth accumulation. There is this like tablet, like if you have read any old stories or something like that, always they will have something scribble on the tablet. So in this um, Richest Man in Babylon, all the knowledge which is very important is written on, like how we say, golden words. So that means it is embossed, or it is written on this golden plate, like that. So there in Richest Man in Babylon, it is written on a tablet, all the knowledge. It is like something like not exactly treasure hunt, but this Arcad, he does this like treasure hunt. So every time he learns something, he learns through the tablet. It is like the connecting dots for him in the story, like a treasure hunt or something like that. Then coming to the key characters, like I already told you, Kiyosaki's two father figures for Rich Dad and Poor Dad, and here the main character is Arcad, the richest man in the Babylon. He becomes the richest man later. Then core lessons: importance of financial education, assets versus liabilities, the value of entrepreneurship. So, about Rich Dad and Poor Dad, as I already discussed, like I really came to know that like this is asset and this is liability or something like that. Like I got more insight into this financial. So these are the core lessons in Rich Dad and Poor Dad. And then here in the Richest Man in Babylon, in this book, what I liked about this book is the first lesson you learn. Like here in this, as this is like a fable, and as I told you, like there will be messages on the tablet. So the first lesson you learn from this book is, one second, I would like to read for you. So it is like a part of all you earn is yours to keep. So this is the first thing, first learning you get from the Richest Man in Babylon. So what does this mean is that if you are earning 10 coins, keep one for you first. Pay for your labor first, and then manage everything in the rest. So, this learning, I liked it very much from this book. So, till I read this, I never knew like you have to keep it for yourself first. Like, I had the knowledge of saving, I used to save money, all that I used to do. But I never thought that I'm saving it, like I'm giving that one part of my earning to myself. I never thought like that. So, after reading this book, The Richest Man in Babylon, the main learning for me is that like you must save whatever you are earning. Like as I read, it is like if you're earning 10 coins, so keep one coin for yourself first. So I liked it very much. So that is the point: pay yourself first and then invest wisely and control expenditures. This is like we already know, right? I mean, from our childhood or whatever, when we become an adult, when we start earning, I think generally these are the advices we get. from our family members, parents, or other wise people, like invest wisely, control your expenditures. This is always told to us. I think everybody agrees with me. Can anyone unmute and
Yeah, ma'am.
say
Yes, yes.
Yes, yes.
yes? Okay. So this target audience for Rich Dad and Poor Dad is individuals seeking personal finance insight. As I said, after reading this book only, I got to know what is that. Oh, I forget the name. What is that sheet? Or that, what do you call? Sorry, if anybody, I think some one of the person is CA here.
Balance sheet. You're talking about balance
Balance
sheet?
sheet. Yes, yes. I mean those terms I got to know, and then one more thing. I think there is some other thing in this. Like you have these columns, and then what is that? I forgot that word. I'll get back. So
Is it
those who are
transactional cost benefit analysis?
I think so, yeah. Like he puts into what to say, like this Robert, he puts all his, like, not only liabilities and that, but there are some four columns. I forgot that name. I don't know how I forgot. Okay,
Is it
I'll just
trial
get back.
balance?
Uh, no, no, he gives some other name for that. And he has also developed a game based on that. Can you believe it? So he has actually I mean, I think he takes workshops on that. So I just forgot that because it is little bit different. So I'll get back on it. Okay. So um, those who are the target audience, like people who are seeking personal finance insights for this. And here it is like for general readers. As I said, Richest Man in Babylon is almost like what we hear in our homes. Only thing, like it is told in a different manner, and the first learning what I said is like pay yourself first is not told to us. At least, I mean, if you all agree with me, like nobody tells you like you have to first pay yourself first. I think I never heard that in my life. Then approach to wealth, like Rich Dad and Poor Dad, it focuses on the mindset and financial education. And this Richest Man in Babylon, it emphasizes like practical financial principles through storytelling. As I said, this is like a story, like a fable, uh, like that. Then cultural context here is this is Rich Dad Poor Dad. It is like contemporary American society, and here this is like an ancient Babylon society. So that is a difference. And then the impact of this book, it influences modern financial literary movements. So, as I said, like when I introduced you to these books, I told you that it is a good thing. Like, I liked it very much. Like, my children, they have this financial literacy subject in their schools. So, I think it should be there. And I think after this Robert Kiyosaki, I'm exactly not sure, but this book lays down the foundation for this, I think, the subject going into the school curriculum. So I like that about it. And then this Richest Man in Babylon, it is like a foundational principles. As I always, I've been telling you, like this is all the ancient wisdom, which half of it we know, and some of the things we don't know. But the writing style is so good that you get engrossed in the book so much, like you can't keep the book down. It's like that. But another major important thing I want to share here is Richest Man in Babylon is not written in uh, like modern English. There are some words of the ancient Greek, Latin, like that language. So sometimes it becomes difficult to comprehend what the author wants to say. Like you might also have to refer to the dictionary because you don't know so many words. So it's like that. But Rich Dad, Poor Dad, it is normal plain English. So you will understand everything. And I mean, thanks to Robert Kiyosaki, he has made the accounts thing in such a simple, easy, understandable way. So I liked it very much. So these are my sharings, my learnings, whatever you can call. And that's it. Thank you for listening. And you can ask any questions, or if you want to share anything. Those who have read the book, uh, I mean, I don't think, as I said, I didn't go deep into the topics because I want you all to read the books. So I didn't disclose what is there exactly, but I just gave an overview. Thank you so much for your time. It's open for discussions. Anyone can unmute and talk.
I just joined. I'm sorry. I just joined.
Yes, please. I mean, don't what to say, raise hand or something. You can just unmute and talk. I think Deepa, you raised your hand.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. That was a fantastic overview of both the books. I haven't read both of them, and I usually keep myself away from financial related books because I find it very complicated and difficult to follow. But today,
Thanks
listening to
for
your
saying
review,
that, because
um,
I was the same thing. I mean, same like
But
you.
you are
So
a CEO,
thank you.
no? How can you get confused on financials? How can you get
oh,
confused about
thank
it?
you, thank you. I'm no CA. I train CAs in their
Okay,
communication
but
skills. Yeah, I'm not a CA. Thank you if you thought that I'm a CA. My husband is a CA. Okay, so Dr. Nisha, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, Dr. Nisha. So I loved the way you presented the book, the review, and the comparison. A little bit I was distracted with the household thing. I couldn't catch a little bit. But one thing which I found it very interesting was pay yourself. If you earn 10 coins, 1 coin you keep it for yourself, and a little bit you should invest and all that. So far my assumption had been the investment is what we are keeping for ourselves and for the future. The idea that 1 coin or 1% should be for ourselves, no? I didn't understand that, like what are we supposed to do with that? Like for myself means it is to spend on something or just to keep it somewhere as a safety nest or something. Like that concept is very interesting. I want to apply that. Whatever I earn, I usually spend it. So are you talking about the spending which we do it on ourselves as the 1 coin which we are supposed to keep it aside? Or is it like another type of saving? What does it imply? That is what I thought I should ask you.
As far as I understood, it is like uh, paying yourself. Like you understand the moment it doesn't say like save for yourself. It is like paying yourself. That idea itself, no, I liked it so much. Like
Can I
Yeah.
just explain?
once you
I
get the
think
salary, what you
Mm,
think is like this is light bill, milk bill, you have to pay this person, that person, everything. You
mm,
never think of paying yourself. I mean, you are working hard for it, and
mm,
you never think of paying yourself first. Like what you asked, I understood. Like you are saying, like you are spending on yourself, so that does it
mm.
count? So it is like up to you. I mean, if you want to count that, it is okay. But for
Okay.
according to
Mm,
me, what I thought is, if I'm getting 100 rupees today, so
mm.
I am paying myself first. So I'll keep that money and maybe I'll use it, I'll not use it, whatever. I mean, it is like personal choice. I think somebody
Mm.
else was talking. Please
yes.
unmute. And
I'll just explain my perception. According to me, it is like you invest in yourself. Maybe you upgrade your skills, you attend some seminar and invest in yourself. This is my perception of pay yourself first. So
Okay. Mm,
you enhance your skills and become a better person. I think
mm,
that is what will pay returns in future as well,
mm.
because that is also an investment. That is my perception. Maybe it's a little different from the others.
yes,
Mm.
Akansha, how do we know you in FELD has?
I am Nishi. Akansha is my daughter's
Okay,
name.
welcome.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Yeah, welcome.
Yeah,
So,
thank you.
Yeah, you are right. The point is that when you earn something, normally the people who earn, you might have seen your parents and them, they will
Yes.
not give themselves the importance. Like
Correct.
I have seen
Correct.
my
Yeah.
father, I've seen my mother. When she cooks, she sees that the children get all the food. She may eat something जो बचा कुचा है उसी से मैनेज करेंगे या कोई दही के साथ चीनी मिला के उसके साथ खाना खा लेंगे या रोटी खा लेंगे. So that is what mothers do, and I've seen fathers taking up that last choice. मतलब उनका बजट अगर 5,000 का है, बच्चों में ने 5,000 का खर्चा कर दिया, तो he may not buy anything for clothes for himself for
True.
that. So
True.
normally
Very
that's the tendency of the breadwinner or the whoever is earning the money. So I think that the person might have thought that because you are earning, you have to keep yourself first as well.
correct.
So I actually do this for myself. I follow this system for myself that some money I keep for myself, which I can do whatever I want to do. It ends up going into a book account or giving the gifts or spending it somewhere wherever I like. Yeah, that was my perspective. Exactly what the author meant, I don't know, but this is what I tell whenever I get this opportunity.
Thank you. Thank you. I have more clarity on this now. Thank you.
I just got the word. It is cash flow quadrant. So if you are intrigued by this, maybe you can read the book and then you will know what is cash flow quadrant. Thank you. Yes, anyone would like to share anything about my sharing or about the books or whatever, any other book which you people have read on uh, financial literacy or money related think, and I think most of them would have read this Think and Grow Rich, right?
Yeah, I haven't read
In this
Richest Man in Babylon, but I have read Rich Dad and Poor Dad, and I had given a session on Think and Grow Rich last month, I guess. So
I think
Rich
even
Dad Poor
I
Dad
would
is a book that everyone should read at least once in their life, and maybe has and when you are changing your lifestyle, you can read it once again. Like as a boy, if you have read, then I'll read it like a young man, read it again like a husband, then as a father. So whichever you can change the gender and positions. And maybe 15 years later as a teenager's father or something. So do that. If you have read it again, read it again. So today what was learning for you, it may be learning for your child. Make them read once they are crossing 10. So they understand what money means, what is to be done. And one important learning from Rich Dad Poor Dad is that the poor people work for themselves and the rich people make their money work for them. So that's a very big learning. And I've seen both the cases. Not that I have become very rich, but after having some more money than what I had earlier, I could see what money can make. Now, what difference money can make just having it, not even spending it.
true. I forgot that actually. That is the biggest learning I had learned from that book. And I have also asked my son to read the book. I think he finished reading. And it is really good. I mean, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, everybody should read. It is uh, like a story also. So, I mean, even if you don't like financial literacy, you still can read it and enjoy the style of writing.
Okay, that's great. Yes, definitely. And because I haven't read Richest Man in Babylon, so I won't comment on that. And Rich Dad Poor Dad is more realistic till about 8 or 9 chapters, after which it becomes a bit draggy, wherein he tells about real estate and all that. But it depends. For me, it was a bit draggy after it went from the ninth chapter onwards, I guess.
Yes. It is like that later on. I agree to that. Richest
Yeah,
Man in
that's
Babylon, actually, I would not have read. It was given to me by my student. My student asked, I mean, not asked exactly. She just gave the book to me because somebody gave to her. So she gave the book to me to read. So I just read like that. And I liked it. Both the books are good.
okay, guys. You can continue. I have to leave now, but others can continue. Uh, I expect Sunita to share something about hyperfocus. Those who have joined, add on to what it is there. I would have loved to continue, but I have a paid class now, so I need to get return on the investment for whatever I have done. Okay, guys, have a great day.
Bye.
Thank
Night.
you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Night.
Thank you.
I may be
Thank
visible
you.
on the computer, but I will not be able to listen or speak out. I will be reading something
Should I
whenever I
just
get a
stop
chance.
sharing?
Yeah, you can stop sharing.
Yes. I thought those who
Recording
joined
can
late, they
continue.
can have a look at it. So I was just keeping it, but I'll stop sharing now so that Sunita can share. I think Pinaki has joined. Pinaki, sir, would you like to throw some light? I'm sure you must have read this book, these books.
I read this book when I was a child, actually, school days. There was a story associated with getting this book in my hand. Thankfully, I was going through poverty at that time in my family. Like I was in class 9 or 10, I was running my family. So used to do tuitions. So I used to teach students of class 9 or 10 only, or maybe class 8 students. और उसके पीछे मेरा एक बहाना भी था, मैं क्यों बड़े बच्चों को पढ़ाता था, so that I can practice and learn the things that I need to practice and learn and perform better in my exams.
Look,
You know? So this is something I learned. So like there was a teacher in my class who said that देखो, like I asked the teacher one day, okay, I know that if I whether something is there in the syllabus or not, that in the first term or second term, like, but if there's a question paper, I know you can score 100 in that paper. So how is this possible? The only thing that he said is because I teach, so I know the subject from I know the subject thoroughly. So if you want to master a subject, or if you want to master a chapter or master a question, go out and teach. So since then I have that knack for teaching. It is not to teach somebody else, but to ensure that I learn it better. And when time comes, I can answer with full confidence. So, Rich Dad Poor Dad, when this book came to my hands, it was a miracle for me. Like for the first time, I could actually think of that what is possible. Like, why my poor dad is so poor that I need to work? So, I simply picked up that book to get an answer to that question. And that transformed me thoroughly. Like, it's not about getting rich by money, but getting rich in every aspect of life, which I could discover over the years when I read many other books. So Rich Dad Poor Dad is, as Vasu was saying, it's a must read for everyone. It's a must read for everyone. Preferably if you can help a child, particularly a child who is 9 or 10 years old, 10 years young, I would say. इस उम्र में अगर कोई इस किताब को पढ़ेगा ना, उसके लाइफ में बहुत कुछ परिवर्तन होने वाला है, because this book is all about Kiyosaki when he was 9 years young. That is the time he met this guy, and that is the time transformation started beginning in his life. So it's very crucial that हम लोग किताबें खुद पढ़ रहे हैं, खुद उसके बारे में बात कर रहे हैं, but I would strongly recommend that take this book to those who need them more than you and me. You and me, we have already crossed our 40s or 45, 50s. So I am already 54. So हो सकता I can live another 50 years, but somebody who is 40 years young, to me, that person needs to read this book at that age before they come and discover, oh God, I have traveled so much of this journey of my life, and now I am getting all this new information. So it's our moral responsibility, I consider, that we should take all these learnings to our children. Whether we are learning anything from these sessions or not, that is least important for me. What is important is that whatever I'm learning, even if that is one sentence, I must take it to the next generation, to my children, to their children, kind of thing. So that's my commitment towards any reading any book. So thank you so much for this wonderful sharing, though I joined almost half an hour. But I know that you have definitely distributed pearls of wisdoms throughout the session. Thank you so much for even allowing me to talk to this up despite I joined late. Thank you so much once again.
So what I liked was the comparison that you made between the two books. So, when you're actually comparing the two books, you're trying to find the similarities as well as what was very unique about them. And that is what captured my attention. I've also read Rich Dad Poor Dad, but long time back. So it refreshed those memories. And now I'm intrigued. I just want to read those again, the point and go into that feeling, that, oh, yes, this is what was talked about. And whether my impressions have changed, which I definitely think would have because I was pretty young when I read that. So, yeah, that is something that I'm looking forward to.
Thank you so much, Sunita. I would like everybody to unmute and speak. I mean, something, whatever you can give me a positive and negative feedback also. I mean,
I,
so
yeah,
feel
this
free
is
to.
Gauri. Yeah, Dr. Nisha, this is Gauri. I liked it very much, the comparisons. But actually, this is my first session. I joined this, 2-3 days before the group. I was like kind of expecting you would go a little bit in detail and explain the principles or the summary of it, but you have given enough points and you wanted us to go through and read that one. So, which is again good. And I'm intrigued now. I wanted to read that book. Just one question I had is, see, the other book was 100 years old. This is like 25 years old. Do you feel something is not relevant in the current year or something, or all the principles whichever you read, is it applicable still now?
I think I mean, most of it is applicable. Like, I mean, it is actually, I mean, if you already know, like somebody who is from finance already background, so they might know many things before. So I don't know. I mean, it is depending on your personal perspective. That's what I said. So for me, I enjoy stories a lot. So in I read it as a normal, like a story book. So through that perspective, I feel everything is applicable. All the principles are still applicable. Uh, I mean, to this day. Only thing is, it is like I mean, ancient wisdom. And this book is like very modern, Rich Dad and Poor Dad. And as Vasudev and Pinaki, both of them have said, like after reading the same thing, what they have shared is the same thing. What I feel like, we come from a middle class family, so we understand why we have that rich dad, poor dad mentality. It is actually not about the person, but it is actually about the mindset. This mindset shift is seen after you read this Rich Dad and Poor Dad. That's what I feel. I mean, this is my perfect. I hope I answered it.
Thank you, ma'am. I got the answers. Thank you.
தீபா மேம் கொஞ்சம் மியூட் பண்றீங்களா?
Oh, sorry.
Your mic is. You want to speak something? I mean, we were hearing the noises, so if you want to speak, please unmute and
No,
speak.
no. Actually, I forgot. Today we had this elections for the CA Council. No? So my husband was part of it. So he just returned and I forgot
Okay.
what I wanted to ask. Sorry.
Okay. Please, others, or you want to share something? I mean, Sunita is ready. I mean, we can go ahead with other sharing, like Hyperfocus. If we are done with this, we can go ahead for the other sharing, or we can, I mean, I think it's time. We have 15 minutes more, or How is it? How, I mean, you all can decide.
Yeah, we have a hard stop at 9, I believe.
That's what. So, will you be able to share within 10 minutes or you require more time, Sunita?
No, I can share, but I don't have any presentation because this is just off the cuff that I'm sharing. But if you don't have any objection to just listening to me, I'll carry forward.
Why we,
Go on.
why will we? So, I think everybody we can go at least give a thumb or something for Sunita to share. I mean,
Yeah, Sunita,
go
you
ahead.
please go ahead. It doesn't matter if you don't have a share PowerPoint or if you have it also. Please go ahead.
Okay, thank you. So, Hyperfocus is a book that is written by Chris Bailey. So when I started reading it, we're all aware of that anything done with focus will bring a lot of productivity. So that was there in my mind that yes, it is just going to actually reconfirm or reaffirm things that we already know. But the way he's put in a couple of things that worked for me or that grabbed my attention was the concept of attentional space that he talks about. That if I'm very honest, in the last couple of years only have I last year only from last year only have I given my mind that kind of fodder to actually think of such stuff. So before that, I did not know the concept of attentional space or how the mind works and all. So this is something that was new for me. Uh, Relatively, if I compare myself uh, 7 or 8 months back. So that is when I came to know when I was exposed to all this that there's something called attentional space and how our mind captures information and all. So this is relatively new topic for me, and it really grabbed my attention that we, uh, because our mind can focus on only a few things at a time, so it makes sense to be very particular about what we want to focus and what we want in that attention space. So, so that we are at our most productive level. So that is something that I like. Then he talks about how the environment works for us, and how distractions work for us, and how are we, what kind of distractions? So external distractions, your internal distractions, and how do we uh, uh, address them or work around them? What measures do we take so that we are least distracted? So there's a quadrant that he does, the four step quadrant also that is there, but whether things are the distractions are under your control or whether they are not under your control. So if they are under your control, you tackle them, you plan ahead and you work around it. If they're not under your control, then how your mindset and how you tackle them or view them is of material importance. And I really don't have that thing open, so I'll not be able to let you know as to the factors. There are four quadrants kinds. I know that the basic ones are what is under your control and what is not under your control, and then it is divided whether it is friends and family or office work or something. So I'm not too sure, so I'm not going to talk about that. The thing that really impacted me was the concept of scatter focus that he said. So focus is essential, but he says that we should not be giving too much of attention to focus, hyper focus or focus. We should let our minds and ourselves delve into that scatter focus business, because focus is going to give you um, um, uh, is going to take the distractions away and is going to give you productivity. But hyper focus, scatter focus is going to let your creative mind develop. And that is what, you know, uh, what made an impact for me. That it is okay. We should take time out to do activities like which are going to be uh, enhancing our creativity. And if our mind is wandering, so we should let it wander, but at a defined, time. Like if you're focusing, then you should be working on how to enhance that focus. So hyper focus, but then you should have periods in time wherein you let your mind go wherever it wants to go. So in that time period, what your mind does is it tries to connect the dots and get, wherein you're linking your knowledge and your experience and trying to create and get into that get that creative bent of your mind working for you. So this is something that really I loved this from in the book. And then he talks about how you should be actually working on prioritizing and how mindfulness helps you be present and work your work on your productivity levels also, as well as creativity. So if you're mindful of where you are, then you'll be able to enhance your hyper focus as well as your scatter focus aspects of your uh, day. So, and he says that getting or focusing your attention on something is a skill that we can develop and hone, and it is in the best interest of everyone that we should be doing that. And your productive, your hyper focus, as I mentioned, hyper focus and scatter focus need to work in tandem, and the right balance is what is going to make you achieve the maximum for yourself to reach that ultimate productivity and ultimate level of creativity for you. So I think if I sum that up, yeah. So that is what I took. So for me, the most paramount thing was scatter focus. If I have to take out one particular point that made an impact on me, it was the concept of scatter focus from the book.
Sunita, you talked about some quadrant, right? Like,
Yeah,
could you
yeah.
just uh, explain it again? I mean, I think I missed that point. But
Okay, just let me just open it then. You'll have to hang on for a second. I'll have to open this.
I especially tried to pay attention because I was also talking about that cash flow quadrant, which I forgot. I mean, so I could catch that word quadrant. Yeah.
So, just a second. Huh? I really don't know where it comes. Let me just try. Just a minute, guys. Yeah. So he talks about two quadrants. I missed out this. The one quadrant is for your types of tasks, whether they are productive tasks or unproductive tasks, and and within the productive and the unproductive, unattractive and attractive. So you have to define when you are actually prioritizing your work. So this is used when you are prioritizing your work. So whether it is a productive task or unproductive, and within these categories, whether it is an unattractive or attractive task. So this is how you're going to, whether it is necessary work, purposeful work, unnecessary work, or distracting work. So this is the first quadrant that he talks about which comes in when you're prioritizing your work, using the uh, hyper focus to actually build in the focus and retain it. What I was talking about was the other one.
Are you talking, Sunita? Because I'm not able to hear.
Am I on mute? No, I'm not on mute.
You
Just
just
a
said
minute.
like I was talking about the other one. After that, I
Yeah.
couldn't hear anything.
Yeah,
So
I'm so sorry. I'm trying to look for that quadrant. I just don't remember the whole thing, so I'm searching for
I
it.
think Vasudev started sharing.
Yeah. Yeah, 4 types of task, and the other one, Vasu, I was talking about the other one. What is under your control when we are talking about distractions? This is sorry to waste your time, guys, but I was not prepared for this. So, 4 types. Yeah. So, yeah, I got the distractions. So, what is under your control? No, not under your control, and what is annoying and what is fun. So, when you are trying to work on your distractions, how do you work on it? So, if your distraction is under your control, that could be annoying. That means emails, phone alerts, and meetings. So, how do you tackle that? You define a timeline wherein you work on those. And if it is a fun distraction, which is under your control, like you're checking out social media, instant messages, or websites and all. So, the all these can be controlled. So, your distraction which is fun can be controlled by you, and your distractions which are emails or phone alerts or meetings, that those can be controlled by you, right? So your approach to tackling them would be different, but there are some distractions which are not under your control, and of them annoying ones are that you have visitors in your office or you have colleagues in your office setting who are loud, so you can't concentrate, you cannot focus, or there are meetings that you cannot avoid. So that, and what would be something that is not under your control and but it is fun? There are team lunches, calls from loved ones, or water cooler conversations, the gossips that you have around the water cooler. So now when you are strategizing how to curtail your distractions, or how to make sure that you're least distracted, as less distracted as possible, then what strategy जो control में है वो तो you work on it immediately. But things that are not under your control, then what you should be doing is deal with it and get back on track. And if it is a fun activity and it is not under your control, then let yourself actually enjoy. So give yourself to the moment. So that is what he says, that because it is fun, but and it is a distraction that is not under your control, so rather enjoy it, give yourself to it, enjoy it, and then get back to the activity that you're trying to put your focus on. Have I made it clearer or confused it?
Yes, yes. Thank you so much for sharing. I have learned this somewhere, I mean, long time back, I think last year or something, but I forgot about this. I mean, you need to make your task like this quadrant, no? I have learned it somewhere else. So I was reminded of that. So it's good. I mean, I feel like I should do this quadrant. I
So
mean,
whatever steps that he talks about are very doable and very they're not very confusing, and they give you a practical solution, जिसे कहते हैं ना, that kinds. And for me, but as I've mentioned, the scatter focus thing was because we generally say that even when I'm sitting and doing work, if my attention goes somewhere else, and then I'm cursing myself that I'm not focusing, I'm not focusing. Why is this? Why am I thinking so many things? So I said that if I work on those, divide those lines, and I try to see that this is my creativity where I'm trying to link in, and I build on that, then maybe I'll be less uh, critical of myself. So yeah, that's it. That's all that I want to share. And I do recommend this book to everyone. Though if I'm actually honest, I did find a few of the things to be that could have been done away with in the book, the way, because he's tried to make it very practical. So from that perspective, but that's just say 5% of the book that I'm talking about, wherein I thought that अच्छा ये चला ही जा रहा है. But other than that, I found it absolutely interesting and something that I could put to practice and work on it and see the results also.
Thank you so much, Sunita, for sharing. It was, I mean, good. We have been listening about this book. Like, I think it was a group reading, right? I mean, Vasudev was sharing about this, I think, Hyperfocus. Everybody, you all were
Yeah.
reading in Sunday
No,
morning or
not
something?
no, not a group reading, but वो है कि that you finish the book in the period. So we were following a timetable, a reading table kind of a thing. That okay, so just to have a structure in our reading, and if you want to share, yeah, it was up to you. So I did a least amount of sharing, but yeah, it was reading at our end, but following a cumulative schedule.
Yeah. Please,
Hello,
others,
can I add something
talk.
here? Hello, hello.
Yes, please.
Yes, yeah, I'm Milin here. Yes, I was part of this particular book reading where Vasudevji gave very nice plan, day by day plan, how much pages you need to read, and Sunita ji actually express exactly what this book bring into you. First part is on hyper focus. She explained and scatter focus. So by reading the name of the book, initially I thought yes, it is mainly on the hyper focus, but surprisingly, the next half of the book is on scatter focus. She already explained. It was amazing to know how hyper focus increase our productivity and scatter focus on the on creativity side. So both side, productivity as well as creativity covered in this book. Really the aha moment for me or the really catching is really this book helped me, and again I thank Vasudevji many times in last 1 month. Is I came to know why we always blame outside distraction. Yeah, like the we are not productive because of distraction, social media, this and that. But this book really nicely explain this distraction is not just outside. Basically, your brain wants it, because when I really observe that whenever you switch over the task from one to another, that's why we scroll the screens and everything. Basically your brain releases the dopamine, which is the happy hormones. So that's why we keep on changing. So those small facts which authors explain in this book is really really catchy. Plus he in every chapter he gives you very good simple practical ways to enhance your productivity, how to do that, very simple this thing, and I definitely use it and it really helps. And half of the book after, then he start about the scatter focus, which is really helping of the creativity. So both side he handles very nicely. He gives very small practical example. So I love this particular from the first page where he explains that our brain actually captures 40 million bits of information, which I heard in NLP. But he actually, your attention span just hold 4 to 7 things, 17 max. Okay. Then he actually then explains how we can increase that this thing with simple examples. So this book is really helpful. I think this week I was busy, but next week I will give something on this book, plus the two methods which he explained in his book. He said that there are many applications, mobile application which is help people to enhance their focus, but there is no scientific proof that they are really good or giving those kind of results. Yes, for few days after using that app, practice app, you can increase your focus, but again it loses its control. But the two methods which he explains around to 4 to 6 pages, best way to enhance both the part, hyper focus and scatter focus, is basically mindfulness and meditation. So I'm ready with my presentation, probably next Friday, definitely with Vasudevji's approval. I will present that one along with this particular book, because I love to combine both this thing, because the solution what this author explains is mindfulness and meditation to enhance both your this thing productivity, means hyper focus and scatter focus. So yeah, that's good. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Milinji. Thank you so much. I'm sorry I have to drop out from this session because I have to cook for my kids now. So
Yes, time is
if you
already. Yeah.
people would like to continue, you can continue. I mean, I don't know, Sudev or Pinaki, who is what do you say,
Yeah, I
Pinaki sir?
think
Yes,
we are crossed
others?
9:05, so we can
I'll be
wind
in
up.
listening mode. So I mean, you all discuss and decide what to do. I'm sorry, and thank you so much for your time.
Great session, Nisha. बहुत अच्छा सेशन हुआ होगा आपका. I just missed it. And great sharing, Sunita. Waiting for Milind to listen to him, because the books that you picked up are really life-changing books, you know. So I just want to thank you for your commitment to keep the vibration of this wonderful group at its peak every Friday. And thank you so much once again. I have to leave anyway because I have my own training session starting at 9:15. So catch you guys. Make your life amazing. Make your weekend amazing. Uplift people around you and see what magic you can create. Thank you so much.
If no one has anything else to share, we can call it a day.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Sunita. It was a wonderful.
Thank you. Yeah. Wonderful session
Sunita.
today. Thank you, Sunita ji. Cheers.
Thank you. Good night. Have a great
Good
weekend.
night. Bye bye.
Good night, everyone. Thank you.
Good night.